formatted it for me. So if you order the book today or forward, you will get the perfect typeset, all the errors fixed version, which means if you already have a copy of the book, you now have a collector's item because there's only a couple thousand of those. So you have one of them. John.
I was going to say, I have an extra rare collector's item.
Oh, you have the little band across the front that says
not for resale.
Yeah.
With a signature, no less. With a signature. Okay, so y'all may not know that I helped executives relocate from other countries for jobs. And it was cultural training, teaching them how to integrate into a new place. You end up with culture shock and having to learn a language and having to figure out how to set your day up. It's a totally different thing. And you're wondering, why is Nicole bringing this up? It's because somebody asked, if you don't know anyone in Tennessee, where would you move and what would you do? And I'm going to give an answer not specific to Tennessee, because this is true for anywhere. If you want to move somewhere and it's a totally new place, the best thing you can do is go there, like to John Willis's party in 2 weeks in Tennessee, and interact with people at an event, or go visit and stay in some Airbnbs or hotels and just check the area out. Put yourself in situations that force some social interaction, because you'll start seeing, do I like this area? Do I like the people I'm coming across? Is this the community for me? And then when it comes time to move, don't buy if you can avoid buying. Go rent somewhere for a year, move yourself there and hang out and figure out, do I like this area, or do I find myself hanging out somewhere else all the time? Because if you take that time to do it, then you will find the region that you like best. There are great places to move all over the state of Tennessee, all over the state of Texas, pretty much anywhere in the United States or out that you want to go. You'll find great places to live. Not everywhere, but a lot of places. And the best way to find what fits for you, because what fits for you is different than what fits for me, is to do that. Also, definitely take the time to think about and list out what's important to me in an area. What's a deal breaker? Like, I can't have, I don't know, zoning and code set up in the county, for example. We have zoning now in my county as of this year. And, you know, that was on my list. And I was here for 18 years before we got zoning. So just look at it as a long-term investment to end up where you're happiest, rather than how fast can I get somewhere in Tennessee because I've decided Tennessee is the place I want to be. Because you may get here and discover you'd rather be in Mississippi.
But that has to be true. It rhymed.
It does.
If it's Tennessee is the place I want to be, it has to be. Like, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit, right? Like, it rhymes. Yeah, we're going historical today, right? We started off going back to ID4, but now we're back to OJ.
Okay, this one's for you, John. What's a good way to tell a new employer that you're willing to do anything and learn anything in their business, and that your goal is to grow to your best potential in their business?
Just do it. You have to just do it. Like, words are hollow, because if you go out and put that out there and then don't do it, that's actually going to be very detrimental to you. Just demonstrate it, do it. They will notice it, and then have a conversation once you have a track record of the things you've done.
Go do something nobody asked you to do, and then take it to your boss.
That's the shit I notice.
Yeah,
that's always
go do it. Don't talk about it. Don't say I'm looking for your permission, right? And what if I do it and they reject it? So then take what you did somewhere else where they appreciate it, right? Like, I've told people, like, I don't care what the job is, you can do something to differentiate yourself. So my daughter-in-law at one point got a job doing medical billing coding, and she was just like, in a cubicle, you just go through your shit and do your shit. She's like, well, there's nothing else I can do. I'm like, create a spreadsheet that judges your progress, your speed, your accuracy, and your efficiency. Does your boss have that right now? She's like, no, we don't have anything like that. We have to do X number. That's it. I'm like, okay, well, you do that. You develop that system. You grade yourself with it for 60 days. Go in and ask for a raise with that, showing the improvement in your efficiency and accuracy across time. And then offer that system to your company to use to rate their employees. Now, of course, you didn't do it, but if I did that and I was working for you and I came in and I gave you a spreadsheet that showed you could analyze the efficiency of every single employee in your shop, John, it would go somewhere. I don't know if you would adopt it, but it would go somewhere. You'd be like, shit. You might be like, fuck, maybe with this guy, maybe I actually could take a fucking vacation once in a while.
Yeah, I've got a kid that comes to me at the end of every day, and he's like, "All right, do you need me to do anything else before I take off?" And every day I'm like, "Take out the trash, break down the boxes that are out front that you have walked past 20 times." So it got to the point where, hey, you don't have to ask me to break these boxes down. I expect you to break these boxes down every single day. Yet he will walk past them unless I twist his arm. It got to the point where I just stopped telling him to do it because it was too frustrating, and I can myself do that in under 5 minutes. Where is that kid at? He's doing the bare minimum. I stopped giving him extra tasks because I know that he will not complete the tasks. I had very high hopes for him, but now there is no relationship there other than employer-employee relationship. There was a ton of advantage. I was hooking the kid up with all kinds of stuff. I was introducing him to people, and he is just like, it's the silliest little things. He does just his bare minimum to not get fired every day. And the truth is, yeah, and he does. I don't think he even knows it. Like, I have told him, look, you are better than this. These are the things I expect. You get a lot of rewards. And it's just the point now, whereas if somebody walked in that could do his job, he would not, I would keep him for a while until something happened, but I would let him weed himself right out of here.
Yeah. I would tell somebody, you can't take my course because it's sold out, but you can do it on your own. If you work for a small company, and I would say, like, how many employees do you have? About like a dozen?
16.
I would call that a small-ish. It's
absolutely
mid-size,
small.
I guess,
yeah.
Right? But I mean, it's something you can make a big impact on. I would tell the employee in a company that size or smaller, take ChatGPT, spend a couple months learning how to really use it well, and develop a complete marketing plan end to end, bolted down for your company, and take that to the person that runs your company. And say, I want to develop a marketing plan. I've developed a marketing plan. Here's the budget. Here's the projected returns. I'd like to implement it for you.
Yeah. I mean,
you couldn't have done that. Like, the time it would take you to learn to do what I just said right now is about 2 to 3 months. The time it would take you to do that 15 years ago is 2 to 3 years.
People are constantly like, I don't know what my thing is. I'm like, learn social media, man. It's valuable to every company, especially company where older people work there. They don't know social media. If I had a kid came in here with a cell phone and said, hey, I'll run your Instagram and your Facebook and your YouTube account. It's like, show me your accounts. If they had an account that actually worked and they understood the algorithms, and like, I don't even push ads. We don't run any paid ads through Meta. If I had a kid that walked in here or a person that walked in here, they would absolutely have a job. And all they have to do
research on that, John, you might want to start doing that with Meta.
For sure.
The amount of product that I've seen spun up from zero to successful in 60 days using those advertisements like short video and all blows me away. And it's stupid shit. Like a fucking gimmick to sell you a watch a month. It's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And yet people are buying the fuck out of these garbage ass watches because they want to look rich.
Yep.
And I don't even mean a well done replica. I mean garbage ass low level shit. You're paying $40 for a watch worth $5, but people are doing it.
Sears and Roebuck started off selling watches. That was the first thing he ever sold.
I'm blown away at the effectiveness of that type of advertising.
Yeah, and with the parameter, I mean, I understand it. With the parameters of it, I can target $100,000 and above. I can target 5 miles or 50 miles.
Yeah,
I 100% understand it. If somebody walked in here that could do it, they would have a job, right? If somebody walked in and goes, hey, this is the new dual pistol mag pouch, and we just built these in this color. If they just did a 30-second post and did 10 of those a day, they would have it almost anywhere. Like, you could do this for a company that you want to work for a couple weeks without them even knowing, and you could walk in and show it to them.
Just a little hint. John, would you give a fuck if that person lived 1,000 miles away from you?
No, I need them to be here. I need them to be here. Well, for the social media stuff I'm talking about, I need them to be present. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Okay. I got you.
Okay. This has just introduced a whole new word into my vocabulary that I plan to adopt today. How could you know what you're worth as an intrapreneur? I decided that's intropreneur, and that is what I do. I introduce people to people. That's my secret power. So I know I'm worth a lot as an intropreneur. But I think that meant entrepreneur.
But is that what they mean?
Well, no, intrapreneur comes from Frisella talks about that a lot, right?
Oh.
Most people will not go out on their own and start their own things. And the truth is, in a lot of, especially first 5-10 years of a company, a lot of times the number 2 or number 3 of the company makes more than the actual CEO of the company does.
Absolutely.
Like a lot of dudes, like I've come across dudes in my life that had this ambition to start a business, but they will never start a business. But if they stayed with a company for a year or two, you know, they'd be making $250,000, whereas they currently are making less than 100,000 years later because they still haven't started their companies.
I learned a new thing today.
So did I, and I listened to Andy Frisella, so that's really interesting.
This is like a big thing John's talking about. This is not new. This is like, there's Entrepreneur Magazine, Fortune Magazine has articles out about it. Wow. Okay, so I get it. I mean, instantly I get the concept that you're that transformational leader. You're David's Toby, right? Like, I mean, it's like that. And I guess I've been that guy in people's companies.
You have.
I just didn't know the word for it. And it's true. And then I've gotten to the point where I ran companies and I paid people more than I was making as I was building that company. Like I had at one point, I was paying myself about $150,000 a year. And I had a girl working for me making $2.25 plus bonuses. You know, now I got dividends out at the end of the year and all, but still, I'm just saying base salary, I was paying somebody significantly more than I made as an owner.
Well, and if you fulfill that role, you are prepared to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So Radio Made Easy says they will still lay you off if they run out of money, even if you're awesome. And I think that's an ask me how I know situation. But what did he build after that happened to him? Look what he built. It quickly built, by the way.
Yeah. You know when they don't lay you off if you're awesome? If they know you can take what you built with you. That's
unless
like
they literally can't pay you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like the most. That's why if you're in sales, especially high level corporate sales, like I used to do, if you get terminated, they immediately cut you off from everything. They physically walk you out of a building if you work in a building. They shut off your access to the database if you're remote before you know it, as though salespeople aren't smart and don't know how to back up files. But that's their immediate response is they're going to cut you off. And it doesn't matter. Like if you give 2 weeks notice and you're completely above board with everything and you're going to work for a non-competitor, the day you hand your notice in, if you're at that level, they cut you off of everything as far as customer database, customer records, internal information, projections, forecasts, all of it, because you're dangerous. Like when I worked for Fluke, when that ended, if I wanted to be an asshole, I didn't, fortunately. I wanted my own life to be better. Like I said, don't do things out of spite. But I could have went to Agilent and I could have just destroyed that entire territory for a couple of years. Just pissed in the pool until the Wheaties were ruined, right? Like that's what you can do. And, you know, maybe it's good that if you're going to be the entrepreneur that you clearly are that person.
I think a lot of people that ask that question too are not that person. A lot of people are looking, how can I make more money in the company? And they temporarily do it, right? There'll be a spike for, 10 days, 20 days, and then it just falls off.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I call like the internal leadership. Like the person that's going to do that doesn't ask, they just do it. They just start taking on more shit. They just start advancing things. They just go ahead and do it. They don't like ask for permission and they don't, what's the word? I intellectually masturbate about it. I think people like to tell themselves stories about how it will get better in the future because now I know a new word. Now you know a new word, so now you can craft your skill set around it if that's what you want to do. But until you craft your skill sets around it and you actually do it, it doesn't mean anything, right? It's like finding out there's a new kind of goldfish. Until you own one, it's just a new fish that you named it, learned a name for.
Investing time in discussing how you're going to do something and what it's going to be and setting that up is worthwhile in the sense of being able to clearly articulate it to people. But if all you've done for the last year is talk about how you're going to connect your two properties by acquiring land and, setting up a nutrient dense regenerative farm that people can visit, and you haven't started doing that, you haven't done anything. And you're not going to do anything if it's been a year.
No, you're never going to do anything, right? Like someday becomes never really fast. And that's why, like, if you want to be successful, you have to say no to shit too. Like you have to be like, I can't do all the things. I have to pick the things that are going to do the most for me in the time that I have, because your life is this shrinking timeline, right? You know, we're all getting older. I think John said a couple of years ago something like, I only got like another 20 years to do this shit.
At best.
You know, like the way you're doing it now.
Correct.
Like, doesn't mean you're cash your chips in and be dead. But, you know, when you're 70, you do not have I don't care how great you can point to somebody who's 70. That person was more when they were 40 than they are at 70, as far as their ability to do shit and get things done and endurance and all of that. Like we fade in time. That's part of the natural course, and good, right? Because we need to, like, people that are established, we need to get the fuck out of the way and make room for that next generation to come in and have something for themselves.
Well, I mean, it's the urgency, right? As you get older, you have less time, and older people sleep less. They get up earlier in the morning, right? It's that urgency. You have to use that time because you're cognizant of how many days. From 10 to 20, you don't even think about time. From 20 to 30, you're that rebellious asshole that's, you know, I'm not going to live to 35. So you just, do whatever it is you do, and it's for pleasure. Whereas if you could take somebody that's 50, 60, 70 and get that information, that piece of knowledge installed in somebody who's 20, to where they'll actually, that seed is growing, maybe it will divert them a little bit so they're less, detrimental and more looking towards that time when you are older. It's just like working out. If you're physically fit when you're young, your life is going to be better, right? When somebody's going in to have some kind of surgery, they always tell them, hey, let's put this off for a year or 2 years if they can and get in better shape before we do the surgical procedure. And it's that same kind of thing. It's financial health or physical health or, business health, any of it.
Yep. Someday becomes never really fast. That's a good one. And then YOLO is the destroyer of dreams. Excellent point.
Well, and I think a lot of people, they just have that instant gratification now, right? How many people work the bare minimum or even don't work, right? And this is the gratification. As long as they have a roof over their head and some kind of something in their stomach, they can just do this thing, right? You don't have to seek anything out any longer. You can just talk or interact with something with people you don't know. You don't even know if they're real at this point. And then you have that pacification afterwards. You don't actually have to go and actually do anything.
Those are not usually the people that do a meal train when you lose a family member, by the way. The ones you're talking to all the time on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know who those people are. Like you have there's kids with girlfriends on the internet, and they're not even women that they're talking to. They don't know.
Okay, Angie wants to know if you could read the 3 books on monetary policy, monetary definition,
Repeat them.
And in order. Yes.
Okay, in order: The Fiat Standard by Saif Dean Amos, Broken Money by Lynn Alden, The Bitcoin Standard by Saif Dean Amos. In that order.
Okay.
I mean, do however you want, but that's what I would do.
Yeah, I'm doing the opposite order too. It's your fault. It's all your fault, Jack.
It's my fault. I just told you what I did, But I'm rereading. I mean, I got so much out of Fiat Standard after those other books and many other books that I'm like, okay, I'm going to reset this whole thing.
Okay, a lot of retail stores are dying. What will replace them?
Retail stores.
Retail stores.
From our aspect or from the real estate aspect, right? There's no more anchor stores. Jack was saying that 10, 15, 20 years ago. Yeah. He was talking about anchor stores leaving. And now you have what is in these premier real estate spots that used to be the high-end shopping malls. There's just garbage. I was actually in a shopping mall for the first time in probably 5 years a couple weeks ago in Cool Springs. I was in Cool Spring Malls, which was it used to be a pretty nice mall. I guess it still is. But when we went into Victoria's Secrets, none of the air conditioners worked inside this place. They were running swamp coolers. When you walked out, all where they used to have little kiosks, you literally had swap meet tables. Like there was probably hundreds. There's well over 100 people on the main floor of the mall with set up tables. Some of them were just plywood tops. They didn't even have covers on them, selling whatever bullshit they had gotten like from Amazon returns and stuff. It was very weird having not been in a mall for so long. And now it's just like an indoor bazaar, like you would have seen at an actual swap meet.
Yeah. I think one of the things you would look at is, okay, what has been successful in spite of the migration to online sales? And I would say that it goes into different categories. One would be things that you need now, like today, like even Amazon Prime. Sorry, I need this now. I need a tool, right? So I go to Home Depot because I need the hole in that wall today. And then Home Depot, Lowe's, those type of stores, things that do not make economic sense to ship individually. You want them to come in on a semi and be picked up by customers. That has thrived because if you need 20 bags of soil, check the shipping on that shit to your house. You can drive down to like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or a material place, and you can throw it in the back of your truck, and you can get it for $3 a bag or whatever, right? So those have worked. And things that you absolutely want to verify in your hand with your eyes, touch and feel before you buy them, that has thrived. And what's dying in restaurants is like chain level, garbage level crap, like Chili's, Applebee's. That food has all gone to complete shit.
Yep.
But high end dining has thrived and grown. And I don't know what else might go in there, but those are three that spring to mind for me.
They just demoed a TGI Fridays in Jackson, Tennessee yesterday. They had a big excavator just crushing it.
Used to be one of the biggest hangouts. You ever see the Food That Built America documentary series, John?
Yep.
There's one on TGI Fridays, and like it's one of the most innovative things ever created, and it's gone to complete shit in 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Derek Olson said he was in a Victoria's Secrets and the store was falling apart in the AC. Not only that, it looked like there was homeless people. Like you used to have people working there that represented the company that were kind of put together. They had a girl. They had a girl in there who had her belly hanging out of a dirty ass t-shirt with no bra, and her hair was completely disheveled, like she had just gotten out of bed. There was a couple ladies in there that were actually kind of wearing the black and white, dressed up, wearing the Victoria's Secret, representing the brand. Yeah. There was other people in there that literally looked like they slept in the store for the last 5 days. It was very weird.
Like sounds like a don't go back situation.
It's absolutely
from their refrigerator box behind the mall.
Dude, it looks exactly like that. And it's more nowadays, you don't even have to go to a mall. Like if you think about what's in a mall, you can almost always get it someplace else without going to that destination and getting in that mess.
Yeah. I mean, malls were a great place to hang out when we were kids.
For sure. It was a destination where you'd get dropped off. You'd go tell your parents you're going to the movie theater. You'd find the ticket for the movie that you didn't go to and you went and did something else instead. Or you'd go from one movie theater to the other and you'd eat in the food court. Those days they're still happening. You see them. I just don't want to be around the people that are partaking in that any longer.
Well, and the other thing is so when I was growing up, we didn't necessarily have air conditioning at home. So in the summer, it was nice and cool in the mall. So you might go to the mall just to get out of the or whatever. Like everybody has AC now, right? Everybody has on-demand entertainment on a box everywhere they go. Back then, we needed something to do, and the mall was a cool place to do it. And you just kind of like move from your clique would move from one side of the mall to the other when the security guy the rent-a-cop would come give you shit, And today, like I don't see kids really hanging out in public anyway, let alone at a mall. So the kids were like a draw in of themselves. We didn't spend a lot of money, but our parents had to come get us and take us home and shit like that. So they would end up spending money when they were engaged like that. They would come, drop us off, go pick some shit up, and then go home. And then we spent like you said, we spent all our money where? Food court.
Yeah.
Because we always ate at the food court.
Spencer's.
Right? And your kids weren't getting drunk or smoking weed at the mall back then.
No.
They weren't getting in gang fights. There was probably less nowadays there's a shooting. Every week there's a shooting at the malls in Nashville.
No, come to think of it, as many fights as there were growing up, because we were the generation that fought for fun, I don't ever remember any of them happening at the mall, because like that was going to get you into shit. And you were smart enough that you were like, I don't want to ruin this.
Yeah, you were going to be banned from the mall if you did that. And they enforced the ban, and that was not cool.
Banned from the mall, especially like in a small town, rural mall area. Like the only thing that there was at certain times of year was the mall. That's like getting banned from a club if it's the only club in town, right? Like you don't want that.
Robin,
so the retail reaction to being able to get anything you want online has been to specialize down into very few items that people need now, which then means there's no reason to go there unless you need it to look at the thing to figure out, what you're going to get the best price on, which you can understand why that would happen. But it seems like that's also leading to this wave of going out of business. So it'll be interesting to see how that
here's a good example, right? The nearest
Goes through.
the nearest real fish store from here is in Nashville, Aquatic Critter.
Okay.
I can more conveniently buy fish off Amazon, from Atlanta Goldfish, or anywhere online, and the fish will be here tomorrow by 10 a.m. without having to go to Nashville and spend half the day to go get a couple of fish.
I'm about to negatively impact John's freaking bank account.
Okay, go for it, Jack.
I'm going to show him a site that he probably shouldn't see, knowing his spending habits. Let me just get this up real quick.
Woolworths.
Todd's like, I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
There it is. That's that site right there.
What is it?
It's called aquariumfish.com, and AFS is the company. And if it is in fresh or salt water and swims, they have it.
Got it.
And it will cost you less if you're buying a significant amount. Like you see there, free shipping over $150. It will cost you less than going to any store and buying it in person.
Yeah, when you ship reptiles, it's about $55 to get them through FedEx. That's whether I get one container or 50 containers. That's why we always bought. That's how we ended up with thousands of animals, because I bought 50 animals every time I paid shipping.
Because it's the same price, or it's not much more. Like you can triple what you buy and pay 5% more in shipping.
Yep.
Right. So and then you're entrepreneurial. So, like I can buy a bunch of these little baby corn snakes and I can fucking sell them to people and I can make more money and I can buy all the rats for the ones I keep for the rest of the year. Right. Like
Rodent Pro is now on Amazon. Right. So Amanda goes and orders. Amazon was going to take a couple more days. So she went straight to Rodent Pro and she's like, I ordered rats. I'm like, cool. This giant box comes in, right? Because it's got insulation and dry ice in it. And I open the box up and there's one little thing of rats in here. And I go, Amanda, we can fill this box up.
Yeah.
Rodent Pro even has a slide bar. It'll show you how many more
you're like, you can add this many more. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I used to buy so much from them. They sent me Christmas cards.
Yes. Yeah.
And then when I got out of snakes, I got an email like 2 or 3 weeks after like my normal order time. Did we do anything wrong? Can we get your bit? I'm like, I just got rid of my snakes, man. Like they were like, I guess I was like a Keystone account for Rodent Pro. I had like one of the small chest freezers. Yeah. All it was for is rats, mice, and chicks.
I went to buy rats because we're breeding them. I bought live rats the other day. They're
like, here it goes.
$18 a piece for large rats. $18. When I stopped doing reptiles, they were $5 a piece. Yeah. So I mean, you can make you could make enough to pay for your own stuff if you started selling them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why if I go back in, I'm going to do one animal. And I know nobody believes me, but it's the truth.
We don't believe you, Jack.
2 weeks ago, we weren't going to have any.
We've seen your hyper focus go into act.
Well, so the only reason I got as big into it as I did is I was breeding them. And I made no money doing it. I like to do weird shit. So I was like working with like African house snakes that hadn't really been worked with yet. I was working with like rufous beaks and scap stickers and stuff like that. All these weird animals. And it was cool, but like nobody's done the work yet. So if you're going to do it, you really should pick one, not try to do like 6 different ones when there's nobody to go to and say, how do I induce breeding behavior in a South African scap sticker? Like that doesn't exist. So you have to start from zero. If you're starting from zero, do one thing. What's his name? Can't think of his name now. The guy behind cornsnakes.net. He built his whole career on nothing but corn, the most common everyday animal.
Now look at him.
And I think he sold his business like 10 years ago.
You want a red snake? There's corn snakes that are completely red.
Yep.
Yeah, that one was pretty. That red snake. How much cash should the average family have on hand compared to your living expenses?
If you just pretend that cash doesn't exist and you put 20 away every week for the last 20 years, how much money would you have versus your living expenses? You're probably never going to wish you didn't have the cash, especially if an emergency happens. However, what would that emergency? I mean, if you had the cash in a safe and the house caught on fire, you're going to lose the cash versus with silver or gold. You probably wouldn't lose the silver or gold. So diversify it, have it in a lot of different places. How many times has something happened on the weekend? I just start, especially like these reptile guys, they're like, I only take cash. I haven't heard I only take cash for 20 years And
I don't
all of
get
a
it.
sudden, all these guys only take cash. It's because they don't know you, and there's a ton of
Yeah.
scams going around with
Yeah.
apps and stuff.
I mean, I
now.
go to like my grandkid's baseball game, and they take a credit card at the concession stand for nachos.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't take
Cash
anything.
App, PayPal.
Yeah, they take everything.
What guy shows up at an actual show every weekend and doesn't have a credit card processing of some
You
sort?
can get one for PayPal that'll do any credit card.
Yeah.
It plugs into your phone. They're free. If you have a business account, they'll just ask for one and they'll send you one in the mail.
You don't even need the fob anymore. You can take a picture of the card and it automatically scans it into your,
Yeah.
And if not,
That's
you can
true.
enter it manually into Stripe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing. You set up a Stripe account and just, I'll take your credit card, hand me your credit card, boom, boom, boom. You approve this, yes, send, done. Like, I don't get why anybody would. You hate money, or you're willing to enforce that rule because there's no record of the transaction with cash.
Yes. Yep.
So if you're doing that, I have a respect for you, but I would also say like there's a better way to do that, and that would be like we do a 5% discount for cash. And you're like, well, I don't want to discount my product. So raise your price 5% so you can discount it 4% and call it 5%. That's how you do that. Just saying. And then you, the turtle, and the fence post know that it happened, and nobody else needs to know. I respect that.
So here's a comment that says, I remember stopping by SOE and John and he asked if I was paying cash or card. I said, who carries cash anymore? He said, millionaires that own businesses. I carry cash now.
I don't remember saying that, but maybe.
That's something you would say.
It sounds like a Johnism.
Yeah.
It does. What it makes me think of is there was a guy, I don't remember his name. He was the CEO of Ferrari back like in the late 70s. And he had an interview with like Fortune magazine, and they asked him, like, we noticed that you don't advertise on television at all. And he said, people that drive Ferraris don't watch television.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like one of the first major viral mic drop moments of all time. Like, just they don't watch TV. And I think what he really meant is if they do, they don't make purchasing decisions with it either. Like, it's not like, oh, I saw a Ferrari ad, so I'm going to go buy a Ferrari today. That's not how you sell a Ferrari.
So
There's a lady I know on Facebook, and she had made a post yesterday saying she needed to have her debit card limit raised so that she could make a purchase. And the bank asked her a bunch of questions, and she's like, this is none of your business. It's my money. Yeah. I have the money. Raise my limit. I go, yeah, now wait till you need to go in and pull, $5 or 10 grand out of the bank and see how that goes. She goes, yep, same nonsense. That's already happened.
Especially if you want actual cash. The bank literally doesn't have the money on hand. They do, but if they give it to you, they won't make it till the end of the day.
And the old man you're buying the tractor from this Saturday, he don't care. He does not want your cashier's check.
No.
No, he wants the pile of cash.
That old tractor that he paid off in 1981, he's not reporting that.
Nope.
I respect that.
Plus there's scams left and right.
Yeah. PayPal is something you have to be really careful with if you're not using it as a credit. If you're using a credit card processor, at least you can do something about somebody saying that, you didn't deliver or what have you. If you're straight PayPal still today, like on web orders and stuff, if somebody says that you didn't do it, PayPal just gives them the money back instantly.
So we win every single one of those if we have a tracking number. If we can show that we generated a shipping, we win every single one of those.
So the problem you have when you do something like I do that's a membership, there is no way to there would be a way to prove it if a human actually reviewed it.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is you stick in a FedEx number and a robot says that FedEx number tracks and says it went to this person's address. Fuck off, right? Where when you have I delivered the product because this person can log in and did log in, and here's all the times that they logged in, and you send that in, they just deny it and nothing ever happens.
It's just the cost of doing business. Are we better off having to eat a couple of them versus, the thousands that we would get by providing it?
What we did is just shifted it. When you buy a membership, you can't do it as a direct PayPal. You can choose PayPal or Stripe, but it's a credit card, runs through credit card processing, and that puts another step of the chargeback situation in.
Yeah, PayPal's a pain in the neck for subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because they'll cancel it on your site, and then it'll still charge them on PayPal unless they manually shut it off in PayPal. I had somebody last year cancel their PayPal account completely, and it still charged them. And then I did not have the powers to refund it because
there's no account to refund it to.
Right,
Took us. I was like, well, I can send it to you, but I don't want to keep paying like your credit card fee because I pay I don't know, a 3 or 4% fee. I don't want to pay that 4% fee every year because I can't stop it. So let's figure it out. And they were finally able to get it done by protesting the charge and me saying, yeah, that's right, this is not a valid charge. And then PayPal figured out how to cut that off. But yeah, their subscription service, I hate it. Hates it.
That's like I said, we went to all like we're just
I moved. Somebody we both know has been helping me move.
Yeah. You would be qualified to do it.
Yeah. And I owe him something, and that's what's the problem right now. Me, I'm the problem. Yep.
You're gonna break off into some Taylor Swift there?
Okay, Radio Made Easy says, Jack, what is your instinct that would be a better return on investment for me? Online virtual training or a self-published book on radio? Because he does the Radio Made Easy classes. People are consistently asking for both.
Do both.
Do both, or put up a pre-order form for both, and the one that gets more pre-orders, do that one and refund the ones that didn't. Because I don't know. And if I gave you an answer, I'd be pretending to know your situation. I'd be pretending to know your market, your followers, what they want, what their motivations are, how much money they're willing to spend. I mean, I know people with massive numbers of followers, but none of them spend any money, Paul Wheaton. So, if you look at Paul, he should be able to make $1 million a month based on body count. And he does make good money, but he doesn't make money relative to the body count very well because a lot of people that follow that whole permaculture ethos are dead broke and don't want to spend any money, right? So I don't know the demographic. I don't know what they prefer. But at some point, pick one, anchor down, and get it done. Because while you're thinking about which one to do, you probably could have done one, executed it well, and done the other one. And then you would have your answer. Right?
How different are the two? Could you not just do the online class and then turn that into a book, or vice versa?
How about you write the book and make it a textbook for the class?
I know that I'm not going to show up to the online class because I'm just not, but I'll always buy the book. Even though I'm not going to read the book, I'm still going to buy the book impulsively.
Yeah.
And if you do the book, do the audio book if you can.
That's what I always, if I intake it, I'm taking it in.
Yeah.
I'm never going to sit and read a book.
I'll just say that I looked at doing a book and the money you make off a single book and thought, I don't know if this is worth my time, but I made over 10 grand last month selling a book. So books can make you money, but you got to move a lot of them, right?
You also dug the well before you were thirsty. Like you've been developing a network for years.
Yeah. Like you're not going to drop a book and do that. I'm not going to say that though, because I don't know what he's done.
Not necessarily. Well, he has a good work too.
Yeah. Like I'm just going to say, I'm not going to say that for any individual, but for most people, yeah, they're going to drop a book. It doesn't mean that it's going to do well. But if you have a market to push it into, it may very well do well for you. And then every product is about the marketing. You have a big hit in the beginning, but what do you do with it to keep it going? And so, but I think the idea that John was kind of hitting there is, write the book, make the book a textbook for the online course, and you have both. So write the book first, because the book will probably help you formulate the course. And by the way, use Chat GPT for both of those things.
That he does. That's what I was just going to say too. Just take the transcript from your course and tell Chat GPT to build it into a book, and then proofread that thing and fix all make all your corrections.
Just don't ask Chat GPT to format it.
Yeah, no.
No, you can't do it.
Lesson learned. No.
And never trust GPT to not change your words. You have to check.
Oh, that will. And it'll change facts.
Grunt proof. You should have Evan come out and do a collaboration with you guys and do a course out there for your guys. He comes out that way. Yep.
People seem to want to buy books that's more evergreen, but your course is evergreen too, Evan. Like what you're doing is something you're teaching people how to use radios without the fuss, without the hoops, right? Just to use them in a way that's applicable, that makes their lives better.
And even if you want to
and that's an evergreen thing. Like I see great value in the digital course, which can then upsell into a live course as well.
And even if you want to have some form of instructor interaction each time you run a cycle of the course, record all the video that is the base of it, and then maybe once a week, people that are enrolled for that period do a live with them for an hour. And that way, 90% of the work you do at once. And then it's really easy if like some new tech comes out or anything, make that an adjunctive thing, backfeed it into the course and keep running it. So now the course is evergreen. And you'll find most of the people that buy the course won't even show up for the live. They just want to get through it and learn how to do it. So that can all be recorded. That can all be on archive video. That can all be a person signs up, day 1, lesson 1, day 2, lesson 2. And it's as evergreen as any book ever could be.
Yep. Tim Riley says I would have bought the book and digital training after the class, so it can go the other way too. That also sparks off a better way to do community interaction with the people who are really vehemently interested in the topic, which helps you in the long run and helps them because you end up with mentors naturally developing in that community. So then you don't have to do it all.
Yeah, you could even end up eventually having your own certified training program if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Because you can only travel so much. Ask me how I know.
Ask you how you know.
Yeah.
How do you know, Jack?
Because I did it, and I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I spent about 15 years of my life being gone 3 weeks a month.
Yeah.
And I really don't enjoy it anymore. Like when I first started doing it, it was adventurous and fun for like a day. And then it started to become a chore. And then when you come home and your kid looks like they grew, yeah, you get done with it.
Yeah, I thought I wanted a heavy travel lifestyle in my 20s. And I got to travel to other countries for work and all over the place. And there was a point where I just wanted to be home.
Yep.
It was like, well, that was fun, but I have real relationships I would like to invest in.
Yeah, I don't want to travel to Lowe's anymore, let alone like another state. Right? Because that's if it was everyone was like me, retail would be even better than it is. Because it's like if I think I should go pick this up, can I get that delivered by Monday? Is that that's good enough? Fuck it. You know, I don't care if it costs me a little more. I don't have to leave the house. Then I'm, if I had 100 acres instead of 3 and 2 ponds on this property, I don't know if I would ever freaking go outside of the gate.
Palm Street looks pretty interesting. I'd never heard of that till I saw somebody comment that here. It's an online selling app for plants, it says, but it's like crafts and stuff. Yeah, Palm Street.
Yep. That was Lee Murphy who put that up.
Art by Lay.
Great.
Yeah. She's a great community.
Live shopping. See, and okay. You could build this, right? Like one of the things people don't realize you can do now, and you can literally get AI to do it for you. You can build apps that are like, you don't have to be in the Apple store because that costs a lot of money now. You can build apps that are basically a web app, and then there's an instruction and the person just adds it to the home screen of their phone. Like Gab does that because they're banned from the App Store. You can do that, and you can have the whole, like basically you can assemble a spreadsheet based on information, feed it all in, and it'll write all the fucking code for you. And so you could have that app right there for any niche you want. Any niche you want. You could be selling John Willis fucking snakes on an app like that right now. Or goldfish.
Or both.
Or both. Right? Like you know, really, like anybody can do this now. And that's, I don't know, like John, how would you like to have 20 years of your life back with today's opportunity?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if we know what we knew now and could go back 20 years, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you mean be 20 years younger right now, right?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
20 years younger, but the knowledge you have today, or not even the knowledge you have today, the vision you have today. Like the clarity of vision that you could just see the opportunities and know that you have to capitalize on them. I don't care if I have to relearn some shit, but if I have that, and if I just think about what I knew at 33, let's go. Because by now I'd be like, I don't know if I can make the show today, guys. I'm in Jackistan and
I wanted a Bloody Mary for breakfast.
Yeah.
Or a foraged Mary. You stopped doing those.
Yeah. I stopped doing a lot of things that involve alcohol.
Yeah, same.
I'm way less a consumer than I used to be. Way less. Like people think I drink all the time because they only see me at events, and I drink at events. But I still have 3 coolers of beer from the last workshop in November last year.
Is that going to the next workshop in November?
Yeah, it's like I'm going to take them out of the cooler. That's why I drained them. They just pushed them in the back of the shop, and they're just going to get lifted into the back of a truck by two big dudes. You know, one probably named JR, and then they're just going to go down to the new venue. That's it. Like I haven't touched it.
The new venue where you may not drink those beers outside.
You may not drink them outside, and if you do, for the love of God, understand what you did when you were 16 and put it in a Solo cup.
Yeah. Or a nice Yeti thermos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I promise you, nobody's going to be running up to you going, TSP workshops are a non-Karen allowed event.
Yes.
You can come if your name is Karen, but you can't come if you are a Karen.
But you cannot come if you're a member of an HOA.
But if you come and you are a Karen, do what Karens should do and leave. And then send mean messages.
There was one year we had this two gal couple that came because the one lost her partner, so she had to find a way to sell the other ticket. And the one she brought along with her was a Karen, like a full-on Karen. But the girl that brought her was actually named Karen. And when they were going through the chow line, our one particular staff member, Teresa, who we all know and love, who has a unique way with words, handed her thing that she asked for, and she said, "Here you go, Karen." And she goes, "But my name's not Karen." And Teresa just goes, "I heard what I said."
Yep.
I heard what I said.
I can just see the look on her face for that too. Like the one eyebrow up.
Yeah, I heard what I said.
You know, those direct communications are quite nice though.
Yeah.
Okay, I got another question.
I tried. We're fighting, dueling.
Yeah. I know you can't answer this for me, but in general, should I take Social Security now or wait a few more years? I'm retired with little or no money coming in.
So I did the math on this, and you can retire. You can take Social Security at 63 if you're making less than 24 grand a year. Okay, so that way you're not going to. If you're under 24 grand a year in other income, you're not going to lose any of it. So if you're under that number and you start at 63, it will take you 12 years to catch up if you wait till you're 65. So then you can make your decision for yourself. So at 63, you're going to be at 75 before you hit the break-even point by starting 2 years early. So that's up to you. Right? And then from that point on, you lose. So you can either win till you're 75 or lose after it. How long do you think you're going to live? What kind of shape are you in? What bills do you have? Like if you have everything paid for, I don't know. I would probably do it. I don't know that I would be done making money though. So
guess who's in the live stream today?
I have to keep her on a leash. She's like banned from talking to people till the briefing is done.
Yeah,
because she starts yelling at people before we give them the rules. Like you can't yell at them for breaking the rule before they knew what the rule was.
Yeah, there aren't that many rules. It really boils down to one thing, but sometimes people need illustrations of the one thing. What
the one thing is, which is Nicole came up with the unifying rule.
Dick.
Don't be a dick.
That's actually that should be in your second rule of life book. Don't be a dick.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll make the cut, but it'll probably get folded in somewhere because there is a law of life that's don't be a dick unless you have to.
Right.
And then be a dick as quickly and efficiently as possible. Right. So if you're going to be a dick, you need to be a dick with a purpose. You need to get it done. And then you need to go back to not being a dick anymore. Because sometimes you kind of got it.
That's not untrue.
If you're gonna Karen, then you're required to flounce dramatically enough to make a video go viral. Pay for yourself. Yep. I love Lee. She grew up and lives where I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yep. And she's built the life she wants to live, which is great.
Yeah.
So I always admire that in people. Well, it looks like we are wrapping up on questions. So why don't we go once around the horn? And I know John has some people arriving at some point to use his studio today. So John, let's start with you. Tell us how to connect.
SOE Tactical Gear. That's the website, soetacticalgear.com. I do a live every night at 9:00. Jump on. We can talk about whatever you want. We do a shirt every week. We do 120 pieces. This week's shirt was bread and circuses. Give them bread and circuses and they will never revolt is what it says on the back.
Awesome. Jack, what do you got?
I am Jack Spirgo, host of the Survival Podcast. The most recent thing that I've done that you might be interested in is my new book, Laws of Life, Ditch the System, Design Your Life, available on Amazon or wherever books are sold. But I don't know why you would buy it anywhere than Amazon, because they're just going to order it for you in a bookstore. But check it out. It's done really well. And that's what I got today. Also, the Survival Podcast, if you want to find out anything about any of the kind of stuff we're talking today, from homesteading to business, go to the survivalpodcast.com, use the search box. 3,682 episodes. 3681 is today's episode. So done it for a while.
Awesome. I'm Nicole Sauce from the Living Free in Tennessee podcast at livingfreeintennessee.com. And also, you need coffee, guys. And what you need is coffee that you can get that's freshly roasted. So check it out at hollowroast.com. I was trying to share the website, but it's not letting me. So I don't know what's up with that. But we've got...
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. It's okay. So hollowroast.com, go to the coffee shop. And if you feel inclined, look at the HVAC coffee pre-buy item. I committed to buy a lot of a specific bean, which means all of the money went there. And then my HVAC unit shit the bed. So I'm pre-selling some coffee. And if you buy at the $500 or $1,000 pre-buy level, which gets you an immediate gift certificate, you get some bonus items. For $500, you get 25 extra bucks. For $1,000, you get 100 extra bucks in coffee space credits. And we're throwing in some digital products from the community as we roll this out. Hard launch is next week, but you can get in on that now. hollowroast.com. Guys, go out there and take one step today. Take another step tomorrow. Check out Jack's book. I want to see you at the SOE party, and we'll be back next month.